Good morning. This is the Morning Thunder for November the 2nd. It is Wednesday, and it is another foggy morning. It's really pretty, but I'm obviously sitting in my normal parking spot here just because. I am re-recording this because it was really noisy. There was a big old truck that drove by, and then some person pulled up next to me. He's blaring some song. It's really loud, even with their car closed. You could totally hear it. So thanks to my brother and my wife for the excellent feedback on yesterday's Morning Thunder, and I really appreciate the feedback that I've gotten from other people too. I thought yesterday's was kind of a gem, maybe the best of so far. Today I want to talk about something completely different. I want to talk about audiobooks, because I have a long commute, and so I use my iPod to listen to audiobooks, and I've found a few that are really, really excellent, and I want to talk about those. So the one thing, if you're looking for an audiobook to listen to, an audiobook series, something that if you have kids and you want something that they can listen to as well, I would definitely recommend picking up any of the Redwall audiobooks. They're very good. They're very well read. The author, Brian Jakes, and you can look him up. The last name is spelled like Jacques Cousteau. The Redwall series is a great series in general, so if you're looking just for a book to read, they're great books to read. They're kind of formulaic, so after a while they do get kind of tiresome, if that's all you're reading. But the audiobooks are narrated by the author, but they're also the characters are performed by an actual cast. So he has like 4 or 5 different people who do voices for all the different characters. Really, really good stuff. And again, like I said, not too bad for kids to listen to. There are some segments that may be a little tough for younger audiences to listen to. And if you have a problem with UK accents, you're going to have a hard time because it's nothing but UK accents. So, but the 3 that I wanted to talk about this morning that I really, really recommend are all sci-fi, interestingly. I'm really into sci-fi audiobooks lately. I do a lot in terms of just the fantasy genre. So like Dungeons and Dragons and World of Warcraft and that kind of stuff. That's all fantasy. And I really like fantasy stuff, but sometimes you just get so steeped in it, you kind of need a break. So the ones that I'm really enjoying lately are audiobooks. The one that I'm listening to right now, I haven't finished. It's called Ready Player One. It's by Ernest Cline. It is a sci-fi book. It's set in about 2045, and it is an excellent, excellent book. It's narrated by Will Wheaton, and it's perfect because he's actually mentioned in the book, and he's a total geek. For those of you who don't follow him on Twitter or don't know kind of his involvement in geek culture, he's an absolute nerd, just like me. So I appreciate his perspective and hearing his voice narrate stuff. He knows how to pronounce things, and he's got it down well. I haven't finished it yet, so the ending could suck, which would be ironic because a lot of times when you get involved in a video game, which the book is kind of based on, the ending sometimes sucks really bad. So it would be ironic if I got to the end of this book and felt like it sucked. But it's set in 2045. It's based on an experience that it's written from first person's perspective. So our protagonist is playing in this massive multiplayer virtual reality experience called the Oasis, and the guy who created the Oasis passes away, and basically gives clues to find an Easter egg, which will give the finder his entire fortune, like something like $280 billion or something. I don't remember what the cost is. But the guy who invented the Oasis was obsessed with the 80s. And so when he passes away and anybody who plays the Oasis sees this message, and the guy says basically all the clues are in 80s stuff, the stuff that he likes, there's this resurgence of 80s interest. All the different, music, bands, movies, video games, all that kind of stuff. So it's really cool. And so if you grew up in the 80s, it's too early in the morning. If you grew up in the 80s, there's stuff in there that'll make you smile. So definitely worth a download. And then the other 2 are probably my 2 other favorites are Ender's Game and Speaker for the Dead, both written by Orson Scott Card. As far as his stuff goes from sci-fi, I haven't read anything else outside of the Ender's Game universe, but those 2 are the only ones you need to listen to or read from that series. He gets off on a really weird tangent in the third and fourth books in the series, and it goes so far south. Now, there may be other ones that don't pertain to Ender that might be good, but the audiobooks also feature a whole cast, and they're very, very well done, and so I highly recommend them. I use audible.com for all the ones that I listen to. They have a monthly subscription, and I've mentioned it before. It's about $15 a month. You get 1 credit per month, and most books are about 1 credit, so works out pretty good. So I am running long today, so I'm going to cut it off right here. I want to say thank you for watching, and thank you for subscribing. This has been the Big JB, currently Count Joshua on Twitter, signing off, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.